welcome to another episode in Journeys by Good Girl. We are exploring the theme Summer Love, and I have with me, I would like to call him our resident relationship coach, Colin Anthony Morgan. He's had 20 years of experience coaching people through relationships, so quite a bit of in-depth information to share with us, and also through experience in talking with so many singles and couples, whether married, even those that are falling apart. He's been there, done that, seen it, heard it all. But he does have this fantastic construct called R.I.B.S. And we started this conversation talking about R, and the R stands for realistic. So if this is the first video that you are watching, I suggest that you pause and go back to that first video about R being realistic and check out all of what we discussed, and come back here to talk about or to listen to our conversation about being interesting. Colin, when you say interesting, what is it that you are asking us to do as women?
Well, Chief Girl and the rest of you good girls. First of all, good girls, did you realize that she omitted the biggest title that I have, the one I'm most proud of, is that I am her husband, I'm her boo thing, I'm her man, right? But thanks for having me, Alani, and good girls. It's an honor to be here. I had so much fun. Like she said, pause and go back. Just go back and watch Realistic, and it helped. That's the hardest one, and it helps you to get set up for what we have now, which is interesting. What we're talking about now, first of all, ribs. Your ribs is what protects the heart. I hear women ask me all the time, whether they're married or not, single, looking for somebody, they're dating, how do I protect my heart? And my thing is, your ribs protect your heart. Let's look at the body, right? Your ribs protect your heart. So R is realistic. And today we're discussing I, interesting, stay interesting. Again, I look, Google it, Interesting means arousing curiosity or interest, holding or catching the attention, engaging or exciting and holding the attention or curiosity. Again, interesting, not interest, fleeting interest. The ing means it's a present continuous, which means how do I keep that, stay there, stay interesting, right? How do I continue to arouse his interest, his curiosity forever, ever? Because I'm always interested. She has found a way to stay interesting, right? You don't want interest, you want interesting. So once you have sparked, ladies, once you have sparked that interest, his interest, be careful not to lose it. Be sure not to lose it because it can out, right? Cute is to get his attention. Hair, nails, body, boom, bam, everything, get his attention. Can you keep it? All right. Step one, get his interest. Step two, keep it. So step one, that's not easy, get his interest, but you really just need one guy. You don't need 10 guys. You need one good guy. Can you get his interest? Once you've done that, can you keep it? Can you keep it? So do you understand the principle of attraction? And that's what interesting is all about. I know you have a bunch of questions for me, but understanding the principle, power of attraction. Fire away some questions to me, wifey.
So no, that's fine. I want you to set the tone, because interesting, as we go through the acronym this week, I always think it's important to set the stage of, in this context, what does it mean, or what do you mean as a relationship coach by being interesting? So a lot of times I think that us as women feel like we have to pretend, or we get to a point where we're pretending to be someone that they're not, to keep somebody's attention. So how can I, as a woman, or how can women stay true to who they are and be captivating or interesting?
Well, that's such a good question. The thing is, one of my pet peeves is when people say, well, that's just how I am, that's just who I am, and that's just, whoever like me, them like me. If you don't like me, then that you weren't for me. And I cry BS on that. It's foolishness. Yeah, BS. If they can't spell, then they can't spell it out. But the truth is, If you're not interesting, then you won't get their interest. So the key, women, this is for men too, but I'm speaking to women. So the key for all of us is to figure out, how do I gain interest? Well, how do I become attractive, right? I need to become attractive because some of us, unfortunately, just because this is how you are, nature, you feel like organically, this is just how God make you, and this is just who you are. No, we've all been nurtured by experiences and people and life, all right? So you've been shaped. So why stop now? So just because today at 23 or today at 33 or 43, you figure, well, this is just who I am, this is how I am, and this is just how it's going to be, right? R.I.B.S. Fix up yourself to the point where you can be interesting. You have to at least have that spark. Step one, get interesting, get his interest. You have to attract. You have to be able to attract. And if your life, your looks, your mind, your mouth, your mood, your attitude is not enough to attract, if you find you're not necessarily attracting, then you need to ask some questions. Find a coach, find somebody, find some trusted female friends, but really do an assessment. We spoke about being real. Figure out if you're interesting, and then get interesting, because there's nature and then there's nurture. And if some things need to change and become a part of who you are, then do that. I had to become a husband. I was not a husband. I was not a husband. I felt like I was a good guy, but I wasn't a husband. So I couldn't just be like, well, so mistake, that's how I am. So my wife, I'm trying to marry a wife, but I need to be a husband. Same thing, women. You have to become interesting first before you gain somebody's interest, and then you keep them.
Mm-hmm. So how do we determine what to develop as the thing that would make us interesting to others? Because to men, you've been coaching, counseling for quite some time. Are there common things that you have picked up that men generally find interesting in women? I know that there are nuances, but on a general scale, what do men find interesting in women?
Well, what attracts men, first of all, is looks. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. And we don't have to, and of course it differs. And I believe that everyone, all of you ladies, look for me good. All of you can be interesting. You just need to find one in it, right? We all can be cute. We all are cute in our own way, right? But you have to figure that out. How do I find this guy? Number two, so there's looks, then there's attitude, how you carry yourself. Do not underestimate how powerful that is to a man, because the looks don't last forever. That's date 3. After date 2, they get over it. They still like how you look. They still appreciate it. But now they're starting to look at your mouth, your mind, your mood. Can she manage herself? How does she relate to others? So your looks and your life, how you stay. Mm-hmm. And we're basic. We're not that deep, right? Those are
almost like those are the gateway aspects of being interesting. And then from there, we can also graduate into some other things that are a little bit more personal, right? So we're talking about things like hobbies and how well can you carry conversations, how socially aware are you, and things of that sort. Because even though this statistic gets thrown out a lot that women speak more than men and all of that stuff, I'm sure that men do appreciate the fact that their wife or person that they're dating has a certain level of intellect, right?
Sure. I mean, sure. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Hold on. So no, I mean, yeah, but I'm telling you, looks, and can she manage her mouth, her mind, her mood? Does she have an attitude problem? Men don't have time for that. And so we're getting into smart and intelligent and can carry a conversation. That's later. That's after you pass those two. The first one is how you look, right? And looks is not only just pretty or not. Okay, it's how does she carry herself, or
your style.
And these are completely, and men can be completely fooled. We can be completely tricked into believing that you believe it if you just act confident. So your looks have a lot to do with how you look, but how you act like you look. Confidence goes a far way. Swag goes a far way, right? And I know you're asking about the smart thing. Yeah, that's a cherry on top. Is she smart? Yeah. But we don't mind going to a party and you're looking good and you're not having attitude, and if somebody happens to speak to you, you can actually have a conversation. Yeah, okay. That's on our way. That's on our way.
It
But
absolutely does.
okay. No, what I'm saying is just you're talking about basics, right? Basics. Can you keep where you work, how much money you make?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're saying here though that at the very basic level, the fact that men are very visual, what you present on the outside is interesting. And then also just who you are, your personality, right? I think a lot of what you're saying is personality driven. So what is my mood? Do I have that resting face? Am I approachable? Do I seem welcoming? Are some of the things that we need to think about that for men is what would be interesting or that would spark the interest, correct?
You are listen, this girl is good enough. She's good at this interviewing thing. I need to hire you. Great question, because here we are. We said, okay, initially, what is it to a man? Looks, your life, how you carry, how you have attitude, your mouth, your mind, your mood. Then we get into, once you've passed those, there's another level. It's like peeling away an onion or climbing a ladder. Okay, you get to the next stage. Now it's, oh, wow, okay. She carries herself in this environment. She carries herself this way. She carries herself that way. It's giving wife. Was that cool? I'm trying to stay young. It's giving permanence, right? This is not necessarily just a fleeting thing, because initially we're just thinking, we compartmentalize. We're just thinking, all right, we just want to hang out with a nice looking chick, right? Then after that, you move from the nice looking chick to like more, and then more, deeper, wife, mother. That is huge. That's huge.
We're saying pace yourself, right? We connect at different levels at different stages of the relationship. So a part of being interesting or maintaining the interest is it's almost like cookie crumbles or a trail of crumbles, right? You're not gonna put the whole meal right there at first and be like, okay, this is it, this is everything. Be mysterious. I like to there's a friend of mine that said something, I think she said it out of jest, but I actually like it. And she said, I value the mystery that surrounds me. And I thought that was such a great statement because, a part of being interesting is leaving some things to the imagination, leaving some things for people to discover. And another question I have for you, Colin, is, we're definitely in a hyper media world, social media, and we're seeing all of these relationships, and society is, of course, always defining what the standard is. But how can I put myself in a position where I'm not blinded by that and I'm actually doing what's wise and not necessarily what's popular?
That's a good question. Social media does affect and should be added to that campaign, that marketing campaign for ourselves, because we don't think that men aren't watching. First thing I do is go on the IG and look and see, how do I stay interesting? Depending on what kind of man, again, it depends on what kind of man you want. What does the man want? What does he want to see? What would he like to see? If you are trying to be a wife, then you should look like a wife. I think what you're asking is how concerned should they be of, or aware should they be of the whole social media, right? Is that what you're saying?
So the question really is, sure, there is a certain standard out there. And, yes, if we were going to use that marketplace analogy that you used in the previous episode about being realistic, what seems to be interesting right away to a lot of men are the women that are, the Instagram models, for example. They're setting a certain kind of standard, but they don't necessarily marry that kind of person. So how am I navigating that, knowing that the image of what is interesting or what seems to be interesting is this Instagram model type person, and I'm here trying to value the mystery that surrounds me, and I feel like I'm losing and I'm not winning?
Well, the first error that a woman can make is comparison. Can't compare yourself with anybody. Find your lane, get in your lane. Again, the R, which is realistic. Know who you are, understand the mirror. Who is in the mirror? How does she look? What does she do to her room when she walks into it? Also be aware of the guy that you're trying to interest and keep his interest. All right. So you said, yeah, a lot of men are going after so-and-so. You're not looking for a lot of men. You're looking for that one guy. And the truth is, let them go on, let the women go ahead. They're actually helping you. They're wagging a carrot. They're attracting those men away. Let them distract the men who are not serious. You're looking for the husband. The husband is not going to be distracted by that. He's been there, done that. He don't really care. So once they're gone, then you just have your nice little Instagram page with your wife stuff, and you don't have to look boring, but you don't have to look like a hoe. And you want to be attractive to a certain man, not all the men. It is very important that you know who you're trying to interest. You're not trying to interest the whole of Instagram. Just some husbands, some people that are going to be attracted to, and let the hoes distract those guys. I said hoes twice, right?
Yeah.
What kind of show is this? I mean, can we even say hoe? Like, good Lord.
I don't know, but all right. But I think we understand what you're saying. All right. So I want to wrap this conversation up, because I think that last piece that you said was really good advice, in that know who you are and be confident in who you are. And if you're trying to attract someone of a good caliber and good quality, then you can't present what everybody else is presenting. Yes, hands up. What do you have to say?
You're supposed to say, I see that hand. Very interesting point that you just made. Can I say something to women? Listen, ladies, because I'm sure I'm talking to wives, if whether you're married or not, are you a wife yet, right? What are you attracted to? So you're attracted to a man that has drive and ambition, purpose. You know, that's what you want, right? Men look at your resume, men will look at your past, women look at your future. So they want to see where a man is going. So for all of you ladies who are looking for the man that has drive and passion, be aware of this. That man means you're always going to have to be moving. You're always going to have to be growing. How you are today, when you interested him initially, that spark can't keep him, because the job he has now is not what he's going to have in 5 years. The passion, his passion is fire. His drive is crazy. That's what you liked. That's if you want that kind of man. And I'm sure you ladies listening, that's what you want. But always remember, if you want a man with drive and ambition, you have to learn to keep his interest. And it means you have to, if you can't run with him, don't even start the race, because he will leave you. Okay? Don't let his drive and ambition outgrow you and outpace you, because he's not stopping to wait for you because you want to keep the same hairstyle for 3 years. He's just not. Okay, so he's gonna move. So you have to become a catch, get caught, then you have to stay caught. Once you're caught, figure out how to stay caught. Very important. And based on the type of man that I know you ladies want, a husband, a good man, who is not just satisfied with staying as a bank teller. He's trying to run a whole branch and then move on to this and move into the investment banking and become a high-level husband, man. You have to be able to keep him. It's like buying a house. You say you want a mansion. Can you pay the mansion bills? Can we afford it? You can stretch and reach. Just because you can stretch and reach, don't mean you can stay there. So hear what I'm saying. The German car, the mansion, doesn't mean that you'll be able to afford it. Get there, ladies. I know you can do it. And once you get there, you can afford to maintain a mansion. Then be confident in going for it. Few tips quickly. I know you're wrapping up and you're giving me that wife look. Don't ever be complacent, because those girls aren't. Other women, they're not going to be complacent. And women are not playing around nowadays with your man, because they're doing it all the time. And unfortunately, we feel like The finish line was the wedding day and the white dress. It's not the finish line, it just began. All right. Stay interesting. You're still running that race. How do we stay interesting? I have 10 of them. What is an interesting woman? Number one, they're passionate. They try new things. I'm picking out which one to give you. I have 10 of them. They know what their presence means. And another one, they know what their absence says. How do I stay interesting? So it's not only looks, but once you get the man, we have to figure out how to keep him. So tune in later to hear the others. We have 10 of them. How do I stay interesting? Get people interested in me and stay interesting.
All right, that was awesome. That was really some good stuff that we got into right there. And we're gonna keep this conversation going, right? We have 2 more left in the acronym R.I.B.S. And as I said, Colin is our resident relationship coach throughout this series, Summer Love. And if you want to get in touch with him, he can be found on colinanthonymorgan.com. And if you would like to hang out in Instagram land, he is at Colin Anthony Morgan. Connect with him there, ask him questions. I always say that it's important to have somebody that can be a real voice of reason. And sometimes it's best to have that person that is not necessarily caught up in your daily reality, but that can see it for what it is and give you honest feedback. So it's good to have a coach. It's good to have somebody to give you good counsel. And I, of course, not just because he's my husband, but I've seen him do this over and over again with amazing results. So check him out. His information is going to be in the description. And before I go, I just want to remind you to like this video, share it with someone, and please subscribe to our channel so that you can see when we release a new video. But until the next video, be realistic, stay interesting, and we'll continue to talk more of summer love and navigating our relationships. Take care.
Yeah, the BS is coming. R.I.B., but the BS is coming.